Today we're going to be talking about a very underrated roller coaster called Nemesis Inferno. And no, you may already be mistaken. This is not Nemesis Reborn located at Alton Towers. This is Nemesis' little sister called Nemesis Inferno. Wow, sounds effect, yeah. And it is really unfortunate that this roller coaster lives in the shadows of Nemesis Reborn, because this roller coaster really packs a punch. There's a lot of positive G-forces on this ride, but it's of course a B&M invert. How can you not talk about positive G-forces? And I have of course ridden this roller coaster, so of course I need to give it a review. So of course keep watching this video, because I'm gonna explain why this roller coaster is on the same level as Nemesis Reborn. Now let's quickly go over all the stats of this roller coaster. Well, hello. In 2003, Nemesis Inferno opened at Thorpe Park, and this is a steel inverted roller coaster made by B&M, also called Bolliger and Maillard. Nemesis Inferno only stands 95 feet tall, and that is 29 meters, and the drop is 92 feet, and that is 28 meters, and the length of this ride is 2,460 feet, and that is 750 meters, and we also have a top speed of 50 miles per hour, and that is 80 kilometers per hour, and a total inversion count of 4. Now let us quickly talk about the presentation / theming of this roller coaster, because this roller coaster actually looks pretty cool. Nemesis Inferno only covers a very small footprint, but it's awesome to see that B&M has really outdone themselves with this layout. In terms of theming, it is very awesome to see that they've built a small volcano where the station for Nemesis Inferno is in, and the rest of Nemesis Inferno's landscaping consists of bushes and trees, and it is of course themed to a jungle with a volcano, so it makes sense, of course. And walking through the queue line also gives the immersive experience of walking through a jungle and then up in the volcano and then into the station, of course. And this roller coaster also has its own soundtrack, so that's also a plus. And now I'm gonna talk about the whole ride layout and what you experience when you ride Nemesis Inferno. Nemesis Inferno has a cool pre-lift section where you go through a tunnel where there's smoke and red lights, and that's supposed to be the volcano, of course. And then you of course fly halfway up this lift hill with the speed, but that's because the roller coaster is very small. Now the drop isn't very steep, and it banks you 180 degrees to the left, but it is best experienced in the back where you get the pull from the whole train. And now you go into an intense G-force heavy vertical loop where it's best experienced in the back because you get the pull when you go out of the loop. And then quickly after that you fly into a 0G roll that has a lot of whip and intense G-forces yet again, of course. Then you quickly dip down to the right and then into the corkscrew inversion. And this corkscrew inversion is very whippy and intense, perhaps the whippiest moment on this ride. Then you quickly fly over the pathway and through a very intense turn that has a lot of G-forces, and then you yet again dip over the pathway and into the last inversion, which is a corkscrew, and this corkscrew is just as intense as the first corkscrew. Then you quickly dip down into the bushes and turn 270 degrees in a turn which has a lot of G-forces yet again, man. And then you dip down under the final brakes, and then you take another 270 degree intense G-force heavy turn into the final brakes, of course. G-force heavy intensity, that's what you get from in B&M, of course. And this of course takes us to the final part of this video where I'll talk about pros and cons of this ride, and then I'll give it a score from 1 to 10, so let's go. The ride of course gets a big plus in the theming apartment, because you have the huge volcano where the station is located at, and then you have the big jungle where the queue line is, and then you can see the track twist in and out of this jungle, and it is very compact and very whippy, and that's just noise. In terms of stats, Nemesis Inferno isn't the tallest and fastest ride, but the elements are so small and sharp that the intensity and pacing feels crazy and the elements hit. And I've spoken a lot about the G-forces are great, but they aren't world class just like Monzo or Cartoon at Mirabilindia. These are the only rides where I can't feel my legs after riding it one time. That is why Nemesis gets an 8 out of 10. And yes, B&M has done a great job with this small roller coaster footprint, because they have made a roller coaster that's whippy and has a fast pace. But the intense G-forces and fast pace also makes this roller coaster feel very short, but they can only do so much with that small footprint. And it is also not fair to compare this B&M invert with other big B&M roller coasters that are above 40 meters / 130 feet. To conclude this roller coaster review, I would describe Nemesis Inferno as short, punchy with great pacing. And now we come to the end of this video. I want to hear if you've ridden Nemesis Inferno and what did you think of my review. Do you have the same thoughts? Did you like this video? Do you want to subscribe? Do you want to like? Do you want to comment? I don't know, man. That's your own choice, but at the end of the day I'm gonna say boy.